Here we go. We are live and it is Friday, which means we are talking about everything you need to know to write, publish, and promote a great book. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, co-founder of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, and my sister Catherine and I have published almost 60 books in 8 years. So we are here to share our expertise. And with us today is our superstar author, Joanie Lindenmeyer, who is about to talk about her experience as an author. Now the author of 3 books, Nun Better, and then which is her memoir, and then 2 more books that she co-authored with me, which I normally don't do, but we had some great ideas and we collaborated. So, Joanie, welcome.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. And yes, we did collaborate. We made it happen, didn't we? Oh my gollies.
Yes, yes,
Fabulous.
yes. So
Fabulous.
we're here to talk about a topic that you came up with today, Joni. Can you share what that is?
You betcha. Time and purpose. And sometimes I even say porpoise instead of purpose since I live on the ocean. But
Uh-huh.
time and purpose. And I just think it's so apropos, Elizabeth. And people will say it's perfect timing to read your books, or it's perfect timing to write your book, or don't waste time. But you think of all the different things around time and purpose. And so I'm going to kick it off with 2 props. Pretty
Okay.
sweater. Love your pretty sweater. Oh
Oh,
my gosh,
thank you. It's
that's
that time of
great.
year.
It sure is.
Thanks.
I know I've got my warm orange Thanksgiving kind of one on. But I have 2 props today, Elizabeth. One is back in time, and one is more of a current time. And I'm going to show this, and I'm going to actually put it on my head in just a minute. When I was about 10 years old, my grandma Nellie taught me to knit. She was a
Oh,
constant knitter because she never wasted time. She was always doing something. And so when she was by herself, I don't know, just looking out the window or whatever, she taught me to knit. And so she made me
wow.
this hat. It's my
Oh,
favorite snow hat. And I think of Grandma
oh,
Nellie, and I think about, I didn't have a clue how to knit, no clue. And I thought, can I really do this? And as a 10-year-old, you get those doubts, you get those questions. And
yeah.
she goes, I can show you, Joni, I can show you. So together we sat on the sofa, her old sofa that smelled like Grandma Nellie, and we made I made this, did it, with those needles. It's not a crochet, it's a needle knit thing. And so I am just so pleased. Here I am, 67. So this has got to be, 55 years ago or so. And I made this hat. So it's back in time. And why am I talking about this? I think for all of you that are writing and wanting to be an author or wanting to write, there are so many things in your heart through your life, through time, that you've experienced or felt, and good, bad, or indifferent. You have those inside of you. And it's probably the time, if you're listening to this podcast, to write them down, to share them, to release them from you, and to fill a heart for somebody else.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's probably my main message. So that's sort of going back in time and applying it to what you're doing now. And that
Uh-huh.
leads me to my next prop. And it may look crazy, but it's a clock. And this is my clock on my kitchen wall. Well, a couple months ago, when I was finishing up Healing Religious Hurts, I was buzzing around the house and I accidentally walked into it. Why would I walk into a clock on my wall? Who knows? But I broke the glass. And I thought, okay, well, the clock, you can't tell if it's broken glass on the cover of it. But you know what? This is a current time where things will happen, things will break, things will get in the way. But everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, 365 days a year. And it's a question of, what do you do with your time? And you talk about this a lot, and you have a saying, Elizabeth, and help me remind me of it. Fleeting books. Um,
Right.
what is your,
Fleeting pleasure, books forever.
I love that. Will you talk about what that means to you?
Yeah, that's perfect for time. So, fleeting pleasure, books forever is something that I came up with as a disciplinary tactic for myself. It's a mantra. So, if I'm tempted to waste a few hours doing something fun, which it's very important to have fun in life, but if you have a goal to write a book, you have to sacrifice that on a temporary basis so you can get the writing done. So I posted this saying, fleeting pleasure, books forever, on my wall while I was writing my memoir, because if I wanted to spend, say, 2 hours just hanging out and having fun, that's 2 hours that I could have been writing. Hanging out, having fun is great, but you have nothing to show for it. Writing for 2 hours, you have sentences, paragraphs, chapters of your book, and those last forever. The book lasts forever. And the way this came up in my mind was I was at the Detroit Public Library doing research for a book project, and I found this old book by Edgar Allan Poe. It was
Ooh.
huge. It was leather bound with like that imprinted leather, which was just gorgeous. It
Yes.
had the gilded pages, like the sides of the
Oh,
pages are gold.
yeah.
And the book was like 2 feet high. It was huge. And I opened it. And the title page and the copyright page had like 18 whatever year it was published. And I'm like, this book is so old, and I'm sitting here now in 2020, whatever, touching it. It was created in 18 whatever, and it's here now. I'm touching it. It was The Raven, his poem, and I was reading it, and I'm like, books forever. But it takes the work. You have to put in the work to actually create the book. So when my Goddess Power series, I have taken significant chunks of days to just immerse and write, and that's how you get it done. So fleeting pleasure, books forever. And
I
when I
love
say
it.
that to myself, it's like, period. There's no question. I'm going to do the work.
And it gives you permission, it gives you approval, it gives you all the self stuff that you need on the inside to make it happen.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. And the day
Yeah.
will come, Elizabeth, when I don't know, 50, 100 years from now, someone's going to open up your Power Biz books and going to open up None Better and going to open up Joyously Free, going to open
Hmm.
up all these books. And they're going to
Hmm.
say, oh my gollies, back in the
Hmm.
day, books forever, fleeting
Yes.
pleasure, and it will
Yes.
hopefully inspire them as well. But thank you
Hmm.
for sharing that. That is such a
Hmm.
cool story.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
So the point about time is it happens to me all the time. In fact, I was at an event last night, and I just serendipitously met several people who are wanting to write a book or wanting to be better writers. And so when you embark on the journey and set the intention, you organically attract people who affirm that yes, this is the time for you. But timing can also be wrong. So, for example,
Yes.
my mother's book, The Triumph of Rosemary, a memoir by Judge Marilyn E. Atkins, her mother was abusive. So she waited until her mother died before she published this book because she didn't want to
Oh,
shame her, and just wasn't her mission. She wanted to tell the truthful story, but not uh, throw shade on my grandmother while she was alive. So the timing can be wrong. The timing can be wrong if someone has an illness, or they have to take care of a sick parent, or they have a
mm,
baby and they have
mm,
to take care of the
mm.
baby, or they started a new job or just moved. There's so many reasons. So give yourself grace if you're out there trying
Yes.
to write a book, but you're going through something big. You just can't concentrate, like going through a divorce, huge things. Writing can be therapeutic in your journal, and you can use that, what you wrote in real time, when you write your memoir or your how-to book. But in the meantime, just be gentle with yourself.
Oh, so well said. So well
Mhm.
said. That tenderness, that self-tenderness. I remember in the middle of writing None Better, I had my knee replacement, and that's been 2 years now. And that was something that definitely wanted and needed to do. And did it interrupt my writing? No, I think it gave me the time and the peace and the gentleness to come back to the drawing board and go at it again. And then the same thing when I had to have my hand surgery during Joyously Free and Healing Religious Hurts. It's amazing. I didn't hardly have ever any surgeries in my life. And it's like two at the same time as I'm writing books. It's like, okay, okay, what's up with that? But you're
Wow.
right. You're right. Timing, timing. for
Hmm.
sure. And
Yeah.
purpose, time and purpose. I think they go together because
Hmm.
when you have a goal, when you have a focus of what you can see at the end of the tunnel,
Hmm.
I think it makes a big difference. So having that purpose, having that goal, and working backwards on how to make that happen within your life is so
Yes, for
important.
sure.
And that's a
Yeah.
big part, Elizabeth. And I loved the virtual retreat last weekend or
Yes.
two. Oh my God. And it was all about purpose. And you said, come to do the work. You're not just going to sit and watch and listen to a PowerPoint presentation by Guru Elizabeth Atkins. You are going to actually get to work, and you allowed that time for people to do the work, which was great. I thought this is the kind of teaching we need across America. You present information, you talk, you collaborate, and then get to work. Was
Right.
fabulous. And
Yeah.
Colleen and Neo, and I could go through Lisa, a whole bunch of the people that were just inspiring and putting their work and showing their work collectively, I guess. That was inspiring to see and hear what and how they were doing and writing their book. And so it was like we all fed off of each other. It was
Hmm.
miraculous. It was magical, Elizabeth. So
Hmm.
hi, everybody,
Oh,
and fantastic leadership.
oh, thank you, Joni. Thank you. I was so happy that you were there. So, for all of you who aren't sure what we're talking about, is I have a Write Your Book in a Day virtual workshop, which I first did in person with my sister Catherine in Ashland in Oregon in October, and it was wonderful. But then to reach authors across America, last Saturday I had the Write Your Book in a Day retreat, and there were 11 women. And it was such a wonderful, safe, nurturing space for sisterhood, which was a sort of an unexpected benefit of being there. It was just everybody loved each other. It was awesome. And also, you learn from other people where they are in their writing journey. But then I provided an interactive, high energy experience for the instruction that you need to write a book, to learn what all your publishing options are. And it was 7 hours, and we stayed on an extra 30 minutes because everybody wanted to stay on and talk. It was awesome. So, out of that was born the Two Sisters Writing Circle, which begins tomorrow, Saturday, November 20 uh 3rd, tomorrow,
Okay.
and the link is here. The first session that you attend is free, so you can just kind of get a feel for it. But what it's going to be is a weekly 1 hour um experience where you get to meet other women writers across the country, but also get strong instruction and inspiration from me, and also open coaching. So you can come with your questions about writing and I'll answer them. And so it's going to be a beautiful continuation of the amazing energy that we had last week. And you were part of it, Joni.
Yes, yes. Well, that sounds fabulous. That sounds fabulous. And
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Oh my gollies. And if you're out there thinking, okay, Joni and Elizabeth are fired up again. Yes, we are, because it's like every turn in the road, every time segment that happens in our life, it just opens more doors with more people, more purpose, more causes, more touching hearts, as I always say, touching
Hmm.
hearts. And so I'm so glad you're doing this writer's circle, the extension of that. That's really, really, really cool.
Hmm. Thanks,
Fabulous.
Joni.
Fabulous.
Thanks. It's
Yes.
going to be great. Yeah. So I
Yes.
also do private coaching like I did with you, Joni. You were in the 6 months to best-selling book success program, and that's where you learn to write Nun Better. And as a retired phys ed teacher and former Catholic nun who'd never written a book, you did it. So the proof is
Right.
that just like with you wearing that knit cap that you made with your grandmother who taught
Yeah.
you, and it's a beautiful, it looks store-bought. It's beautiful. It's really pretty. It's like bright pink. On camera, it looks bright pink.
It's
And
actually red, but that's good. I'm glad it's bright pink. I like bright pink.
okay, yeah, it looks like it's fuchsia. And so you learned how to knit and you'd never done it before. So what we all need is a good teacher. And so your grandmother was a good teacher of knitting. You succeeded at writing that, making the hat. I was the teacher for you to write a book, and now you've written three. So
Yes.
that is
Yes.
amazing. I love to
Eh,
help. So anybody out there, if you need help, I'd love to assist you. You can drop me a comment here. You can also email us info@twosisterswriting.com. I'm going to put a link for my next Write Your Book in a Day virtual retreat, which is going to be Saturday, December 14th, 2024. And then also the writing circle tomorrow. So check out all the links, join us. It makes magic happen and it gets the results that you're seeking to become a published author whose books are touching people's lives around the world. That's the goal.
Yep, yep, yep. And it's so cool. And the other thing I like about the time and the purpose of writing, Elizabeth, is I never could have imagined being a writer, let alone a published author, let alone a best-selling author. And I started writing at age 65. Think about
Wow.
that. I mean,
Wow.
I know a lot of people start younger and they really think that is where they're going in life at age, I don't know, teenage, 20 or 30, and they make it their career. But if you're out there thinking about it, it doesn't matter what age. And I know you've shared this before, Elizabeth, that you have helped younger people write, and you've helped even older people than myself write and publish. And I think that's really, really cool. So if you're having a fear or a doubt or a question, you know, throw it out. Talk to Elizabeth. Come to our writer circle. Meet other people to see how to get past that negativity and keep it a positive purpose. I think that's so important because our mind can do what we tell it to do. So whether that's a positive or a negative, our mind can tell us what and how to do things, and then it's a matter of action, which that's sort of who I am. I'm an action kind of person. Yes.
Hmm. So let's talk more about purpose. A lot of people feel called to write a book. So if you're watching and you're trying to write a book or thinking about writing a book, what is your purpose? Do you want to use your book as a teaching tool in a class that you have or an online course that you want to start? Do you want to entertain people? Do you want to share your family's history and be the first person? I'm actually coaching someone whose family has an extensive research history with documentation, photos. It's really unique. And so I'm coaching
Ooh.
them to compile, to be the family historian, to put it all together and
Ooh.
and have it as a keepsake for the family, but also share the history with the public, which is fascinating, especially for history buffs in the particular issues that the book deals with. So, um, that's a powerful legacy that you can create for your family. And a lot of people do that and never publish it. They just want to have it as a family keepsake. So you don't have to publish, you don't have to go public with your book. You can just write your story. I have two things here in my office. The flowers are from the funeral of my former brother-in-law who died recently, and those are the flowers from the funeral. And then this book by Greg Harden, it's called Greg Harden with the forward by Tom Brady, the football star. Stay sane in an insane world. This gentleman had a profound impact on my family. We love him so much. Sadly, he died a month or two ago. Went to his funeral. It was at Chrysler Arena, and Desmond Howard, the football superstar, spoke. But the point is that Greg is gone, but his book is here. And his book is so wise. It's so full of guidance on how to succeed. He coached some of the greatest American athletes ever, and including people in my family. He's just guided. Was just so generous with his wisdom and guidance. And so the point is that after a person passes, your book lasts forever. Your book is here. Your book can teach people, and it's a profound. This is his legacy. So let death be a motivator. Most people's stories don't get written until they're dead, sadly, and someone's writing their obituary.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what a purpose. You said, let's talk about purpose. Oh my gosh, it sounds like his book is fulfilling a purpose for
Hmm.
so many people. I mean, just
Hmm.
your family alone,
Hmm.
the impact. Oh, that's really, really cool. That's really,
Hmm.
really cool.
Yeah.
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 And I think you hit the nail on the head again. You said you just went to the funeral of your brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law, And I had a dear friend pass away last night, Mary. And
Oh, I'm so sorry.
yeah, Mary is Linda Lee's mother, and Mary was just an incredible woman. And what the story I love, many stories about Mary. She sailed the world all over in boats and yachts with her husband, but also she was in Sausalito, California, and she owned a boutique shop. And back in the 60s and 70s, being gay was extremely, extremely difficult and hard. But in Sausalito, right next to San Francisco, she was the gay men's mother. She took care of them. She made sure that they were safe and well kept within their community. She was just an outstanding ally for the gay community back then, and she stood up for that. That was her purpose. That was one of her purposes. And so when you think about purpose, it's a cause. It's something you have to follow in your heart. I often think of it. It's doing God's will. It's following a purpose bigger and deeper than yourself. And so as your brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law, and Mary are up in heaven, and I know that they're with Carol. I know that they're with Carol and all of our other ancestors that have come and gone. And that's part of time, which leads back to eternal time. And books are sort of eternal, aren't they? They last forever. And so, anyway, those were just thoughts that went through my head.
Mhm. I love it. Okay, so time and purpose. All of you writers out there, those are two key words that you need to keep in mind and be inspired by them, but understand your timing and your purpose as fuel for your writing journey. Really, really important. We'd love to hear any questions. Please drop a comment here. Like the video, share it with any aspiring writers that you know, because we're here to help. And also, you can check out twosisterswriting.com where you can get all of our books and learn about our coaching services, publishing services, and again, check out the links here where you can join my next Write Your Book in a Day virtual retreat. You can also follow Joanie at on Facebook, where she posts all of her events and wonderful photos and inspiration. And we are grateful that you joined us here. Any last words, Joanie?
Nope, just seize the day. Seize the day.
I like that. I like that. I just put Carpe Diem in my Instagram post today. That's funny.
Awesome. Awesome. See?
I love it.
Synchronicities again,
All the time, all the
all
time.
the time.
All right, all you writers out there, thank you for joining me, Elizabeth Ann Atkins, co-founder of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, and our superstar author, Joanie Lindenmeyer. We are so grateful. Please check out the almost 70 episodes of this podcast that we've done over the past year plus and learn everything you need to know to write, publish, and promote your book. So, have a wonderful day, and we wish you